Alright, let's talk about Wuthering Waves. And first off, I want to go ahead and disclaimer myself to where I have not played many of the closed betas, so this truly is a first impression of the game for me, besides a little bit of research I did beforehand. First off, the combat is amazing to where it's difficult enough to where you want to try to master, but fun enough to where once you do, it greatly increases the enjoyment of the game. So the one thing that I really like is the parry and dodge system. So to parry and attack, you're going to see two circles around your enemy, and once those two circles meet, you quickly need to do a normal attack. By doing this, you do a lot of damage to the stagger bar, and if that completely depletes, the boss will be unable to move for a few seconds, allowing you to do a lot of free damage to him with your team. You're also able to dodge your enemy's attack, allowing you to take no damage from them, but you don't do much damage to the stagger bar. Mastering these two techniques will get you very far in the game. The better you are at this, the easier it's going to be to get resources and get stronger characters in the future. Besides that, you basically have a 3-person team to where each of them can do a skill and ultimate. So if you play Tower of Fantasy, it's basically the same thing, and if you play Genshin Impact, you just have one less character. But there is another system in the game. All characters have an intro and outro skill, meaning that when you swap into them, they activate the intro skill, and when you swap out of them, they activate the outro skill. These can buff or help your team do more damage depending on what the skills do. So you do want to take a look and see what these skills do, so that way you can time them correctly and do the most damage. Now there is more to the combat system, but that's basically the simplified version, and if you want me to go into more detail, let me know down in the comments and I can make another video. Which brings us into the bad. Now 90% of the story does not have skippable cutscenes, and even when you're doing side quests, you're spending most of your time quickly clicking the mouse so that way you can get to the side mission. So one of the main ways how you progress the story is that you need to get your Union level up. Think of Adventure rank in Genshin Impact and Wanderer level in Tower of Fantasy. Now once you get to Union level 10, you might find it difficult to rank up. I know for me specifically, I need to reach Union level 14 to continue the story. So the standard way to get the needed experience is to do side missions and to go around opening up boxes and solving puzzles. Now I strongly recommend that you get an interactive map to help you check all of this off, because eventually you're going to have to go do it anyway. So exploring without this might end up being a hassle. But I believe one of the fastest ways to get this experience is to go around and kill bosses. Because the first time you kill a boss, you get 500 Union experience, which greatly helps you continue the story, so that way you can eventually go echo farming with your friends. On top of that, once you reach Union level 15, you should have enough rolls to roll on the discounted standard banner to try to get your first 5-star. So where any 5-star you get should be a boost for your account, but some 5-stars are better than others, and ideally you would like to try to get Verena. But once you get your first standard 5-star, you do get the option to select which one you want in the future. But unfortunately, you do not get the discounted rolls anymore. So now let's go ahead and discuss the best ways that you can set yourself up for boss farming. Number 1, you want to take advantage of the Echo event that Wuthering Waves has going on right now. And you want to try to get the 5-star echoes, especially the ones that are going to be difficult to find in the future. Because if you get a 5-star echo on your account, not only is that going to give you a lot of boosted stats, but it helps you avoid one less echo that you have to get in the future. Next, I recommend that you level up your rover, because this is going to be most people's main DPS for the game. On top of that, similar to Genshin, like the Traveler, she's going to have other forms in the future, so the experience that you use on her won't be wasted. Next, I would also give him or her a good weapon, and do note that we do get a free 4-star box, so go ahead and pick the sword and just level that up. At the very least, try to get it to level 20. And then in the combat section, I did not mention the Echo system. This is basically your gear like in Tower of Fantasy, and your artifacts like in Genshin Impact. But you can also summon these creatures to help you in combat during battle. And that is for every person on your team. That whichever echo is at the very top is the one that you get to summon. But I recommend that you use very quick summons, so that way you don't miss the timing with your parry and dodge. But I don't really recommend that you level these unless you have a very strong purple echo or a legendary echo from the web event. Now when it comes to your other characters, you might as well go ahead and level them up to 20, because it doesn't take that many resources, and you can even give them a 20 level weapon, because again, not too many resources. And one other thing that you want to take note of is that while progressing through the game, you might be trying to skip as much things as possible. By doing this, you could miss out on the tutorial to where they want you to do a summon on the banner. So you need to do one summon on this banner, so that way you get a guaranteed Baizu. Now she's a healer, and this can really help you during the boss battles, because sometimes you are going to get hit, and being able to get a quick heal is going to be helpful. In the future, it may not be the most helpful, so I don't recommend that you fully invest in her, but it's going to be very helpful at the start while you're trying to craft your team. One last thing is that once you reach Union level 15, don't forget to go ahead and do your rolls, so that way you can get your free 5-star character. And once you get your first 5-star character on this banner, you get the chance to choose your next 5-star standard character. For most people, if you didn't get Verena, you're going to want to go for Verena. Then the next one I probably would recommend is Calcharo, especially if you plan on getting the next limited character. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way it can spread more on YouTube. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.